It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning and welcome to City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM. My name is Stuart Walter, and we have a very special guest with us this morning. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kacper, and I'm the Communications Officer for the City of Thompson.
Could you give us a brief overview of what your job is?
Sure, absolutely. So my role is basically to help plan and manage the message that's coming out of City Hall and to help kind of ensure that administration speaks with a single and clear voice. I make a lot of the advertisements and posters that the city uses to advertise. I manage our website. I kind of create policies and frameworks to make sure that information flows smoothly, no matter who's in the driver's seat. And I also manage our social media and our Facebook. So if you're talking to someone on Facebook, it's probably me, unless I'm out in the woods somewhere.
Could you talk a bit about what the city's communications plan looks like and what the priorities are?
Sure. Our communications plan annually lays out the goals and priorities for our overarching structure for the year, in terms of communicating with both the public and as well as among ourselves, just because we do have a lot of departments spread throughout the city. So it's really important that we have strategies in place that we all talk with each other. You might have noticed that since we got our new website, we haven't had the community contact list up there. So one of the things that we've been doing this year, and a lot of feedback that we've gotten, is that people need more information about what's going on in the community and where they can find things. So we're hoping to revamp that a little bit, update it, and kind of create a more targeted framework for people. So if you're looking for sports, you can easily find sports. If you're looking for support groups, you can find support groups, different things like that, instead of just kind of a nice, long, boring list like it used to be. On top of that, in conjunction with Thompson 2020 and its partners, we're kind of looking to develop a comprehensive community profile and an investment profile, just so we can kind of paint a more complete picture of Thompson rather than what you see when you just Google Thompson, Manitoba, because right now it's looking rather one-dimensional.
And it's always good to update things like that. I remember before my wife and I moved up here, there is a promotional video on the city's website, I think says in the heart of the boreal forest about 60 times in that 2 minutes or however long it is.
Yeah. Well, if you talk to me, you'll hear me say boreal a lot too. But
there was at least one fire last night. Could you talk a bit about that?
So one of the fires that we dealt with was a trailer fire. It wasn't any kind of mischief this time around. Someone just left their stove on, they fell asleep, and before they knew it, their kitchen was up in flames. So this house did not have any smoke detectors, and this person was very lucky in that their neighbor or someone who was walking by was vigilant, and they called the fire department before things got out of hand. We managed to save the building, and we managed to get everyone else out safely, which is unusual for a trailer because they usually go up like tinder boxes. So it's really important that if you're cooking, make sure that you're paying attention, you're not lying down to go take a nap, and make sure that all of your smoke detectors are working. So if you do lose your focus, something's letting you know that something's wrong.
The next meeting of Thompson City Council is scheduled for Monday evening. When will the agenda be available, and where can the public get that?
The agenda is always available by 4:30 on Friday. You can get it at thompson.ca under Mayor and Council and minutes and meetings.
Could you remind everyone of the time and location of the meeting?
You can find it at Council Chambers at City Hall at 7 p.m.
Summer is coming up and council doesn't meet as frequently. Could you talk about what the schedule looks like for regular meetings of council during the summer?
Yeah, so we have meetings as usual up until the end of June. And once we switch into July and August, we only start to meet once a month. I'd have to double check the dates exactly myself, but you can actually find the schedule for the whole year, again, under Mayor and Council and minutes and meetings, and the 2018 schedule for regular meetings of council.
What's the latest update when it comes to street sweeping?
So street sweeping at this point, Thompson Drive is done, Cree Road is done, and the downtown core is done. Right now our crews are working on Princeton Drive, and we'll be switching depending on our needs throughout the city.
Are there any crews still going around street by street to fix potholes, or is the situation at a point now where crews can focus on other tasks and just go out to fix potholes that are problem areas and have been reported?
That's basically where we're at. Potholes are pretty much filled as far as the major concerning areas, so we're just filling them in as needed, but we still want people to call in and report them, whether you call Public Works at 677-7970, or you can shoot me a message on our Facebook page as well.
And there's actually also a nice handy feature both in the new mobile app and City's website to do that as well.
Absolutely, that's our service tracker, and if you fill out a service request, I'll absolutely forward it to whatever department you need.
Could you give us a status on the update of the water main cleaning and flushing?
So water main flushing is still ongoing, but at the same time as well, we're also checking valves in preparation for our capital construction this year and our water main renewal. So what people might notice is that as we go by block in the city, you may get intermittent interruptions in water service. It might cause your water to be a bit discolored or smell a bit funny, but usually the problem is resolved by just running your taps for 5 minutes or so, and usually all that work is done by 4:30.
Staying on the topic of water, could you give us the latest update on the Norplex pool? It was down for a while, supposed to be back up, but then it wasn't. I understand that there is some good news.
Absolutely. The pool is open again. The water temperature is sitting at 76 degrees and warming steady, but I know some people like the cold water, so if you want to enjoy it, get out fast.
And then finally, the summer is just starting to kick off. What events does the city have coming up in the next little while that people can get involved with?
So the big one coming up this weekend is our community cleanup. Clean Community Day, if you swing by on June 2nd to Robin's Donuts, you can pick up gloves, garbage bags, and bottles of water. And you can collect $3 a bag for regular waste or $4 for recycling, and that is cash up front for that day only. We also have our free weekend at the landfill, so starting today, you can get rid of regular household waste in either a single trailer or double trailer size. But anything that still has a special fee on it, for example, fridges, couches, anything that requires special disposal, it still has a fee attached to that, and you can find those fees in our fees and fine schedule.
And then also National Indigenous Peoples Day is coming up.
Absolutely. It's coming up on June 21st, and we'll once again be celebrating our progress in our Aboriginal Accord again as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning, Kacper.
Thanks for having me, Stuart. Appreciate it.
If you have any questions you'd like answered next week, email them in advance to CHTMnews@arcticradio.ca. For City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM, I'm Stuart Walter.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at 11:30.